Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. I'm getting ready here to start a new game of Global War 85. This one is going to be called Operation Skyhawk. Why Skyhawk, you may ask? Well, we have decided to brush off the ground attack aircraft expansion or optional unit, whatever you want to call it, and give that a try again. And as even in the mid 80s, still the A4 Skyhawk ground attack fighter was still seeing some limited use, I think maybe by the Marine Corps. The Navy may have still had a few around, and there were minor allies of the United States using the A4 for sure. So I think that's a good name to choose to bring that one back out and give it another try. In addition to ground attack, I'm calling it ground attack fighters. Is that just, to me, it just sounds better than ground attack aircraft, but you know, call it whatever you wish. In addition to that one, I'm doing battleships and battle cruisers again, SPAGs, ASW helicopters, and I'm going to bring back another old favorite, or still in testing actually, rocket artillery is going to make a reappearance in Skyhawk here. I think that's it. There really haven't been, well, I'll take that back. No, there have been a couple of changes that the design team discussed and decided is worthy of play testing. One is a situation that came up in Warthog for the diplomacy mechanics. The way it was working in Warthog was, let's say South Africa aligns to the U.S. Global. Well, then Mozambique, a defense treaty ally of Warsaw Pact, was adjacent to an enemy land zone, so Warsaw Pact could roll diplomacy for Mozambique to try to get them to sign a military pact. Well, once the fighting over here took place and the Soviets took control of South Africa, suddenly Mozambique was no longer adjacent to an enemy territory. And the way the rule was written, was no longer eligible for a military pact with Warsaw Pact. So what we're going to try doing going forward is, once a defense treaty minor becomes eligible to roll for a military pact, it remains eligible for the rest of the game, regardless of who possesses the adjacent territories after that. We're going to give it a try and see what happens. That situation came up with Mozambique. It also came up over here with the Yemens. That situation arose. So we'll try this change and see what happens. Second change that we're going to try out is we're going to go back to Soviet Global Command being able to send Warsaw Pact 2 units of military aid once they're at war with major powers. This is going to be done the same way as U.S. sending to NATO. You can send one unit of any type. If you choose to send the second unit, then one of the two must be a Navy unit. So if you send two, one has to be Navy, and then the second one can be anything. It can be another naval unit, land, air, whatever you want. And again, if you just send one unit, you can pick whatever type you want. Something that I'm going to note for myself, I did not realize, all the time that I've been playing version 2, I didn't realize that the early generation units are available for the Warsaw Pact Alliance to give as military aid from the start of the game. I was under the impression that, they couldn't build it for themselves until they were at war with the majors, so I assumed that meant for military aid as well, but it does not. So that might make a bit of a difference for their military aid purchases going forward. I think that is it as far as changes and new business. I don't think there's anything else. So, here we go. Operation Skyhawk begins. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.